Hi, this is Gil. So today it's on this video I'm gonna talk about artificial intelligence and my thoughts. You know what I think of that? You know that's becoming more sophisticated every year that passes by. This artificial intelligence thing. I mean, it's everywhere. The phones have it. I mean, of course, if you want to know what artificial intelligence is, an example of it is a predictive text. Like when you got the autocorrect, things like that. That's an example of artificial intelligence. But you know what? On my phone, this Galaxy S24. Well, I know on Facebook. Like when I want to post, something on Facebook, like I have the option to click AI there, or like a picture AI or something, and then I could type in something. I can type in any imaginable thing, and I mean any imaginable thing, and then it's gonna make a picture based on that. Like, let's say for an example, let's say that I want to type in a radioactive cat or something, and then it's going to make a picture based on my description. Or it's going to say, I'm like, let's say that if I wanted to post a 10-door car or something, then it'll post a picture. It'll automatically make a picture based on that. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, another example of artificial intelligence, it would be like the Teslas, the self-driving cars. That'd be another example of artificial intelligence. But the one thing that I have to say about all this is it's becoming more sophisticated every year. It seems like every year that passes by, the technology just simply gets more sophisticated every year that passes by. I mean, and then I've been hearing a lot about, robots like replacing some workers one day. Like, I think I was hearing something about that in Amazon, like robots would actually be doing all the packing of the orders, and they'd probably be driving forklifts too for robots. But I think they specialized forklifts that robots operate and stuff. I think it's just like a special forklift where artificial intelligence operates it and stuff. That's what I've been hearing about that, and even like places like McDonald's. Well, I was hearing a little bit about, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if that's eventually going to happen. Well, just give it a few more years, or at least maybe give it until the end of the decade, and we're going to start. Probably half of the workers are going to be replaced with the robots. I wouldn't be surprised of that. So, yeah. Well, those are examples of things that I'm hearing about, about artificial intelligence, I can imagine, what would be the next thing that comes up with artificial intelligence and stuff. I can imagine what they'll come up with, like, say, by the end of this decade, which is not that far away already. I mean, there's 2024. I can imagine what kind of technology that they're going to come up with by the end of this decade. And I know that this artificial intelligence is going to be very sophisticated compared to the way it is. Right now, it's pretty sophisticated already. I think it's going to get even more sophisticated. I know that there's going to be someday, I would imagine someday, for an example, like, there'll probably be a setting that you could put, like, when you post a video, or when you make a post on Facebook or something. I'm sure they probably will come up with a setting one day. Well, like something to do with moderating comments. I'm guessing, like in the future, like that artificial intelligence would play a role on your commenting and stuff. It's gonna mess everything up, and then at this point, you're not gonna be able to have free speech at all anymore. Without being banned or or getting deleted or whatever. I mean, like that's for the comments, like whether it's truth or not. I mean, but now if we would talk about other things that artificial intelligence would take over, what would I think? Like, well, I mean, artificial intelligence, it's just like robots. It's like if you have Rosie from the Jetsons cleaning, like pretty soon, someday that's gonna happen. You know, we're gonna have robots doing the house chores or even cooking your dinner, that kind of thing. You know. Well, one interesting examples that I came around for artificial intelligence that was very sophisticated. I mean, there's this Carol's Jr. Like it's located on 40th Street. No, I think it's located like on Waterman and 40th Street or something. It's this Carol's Jr. that I go to sometimes, and it's next to TJ Maxx. And when I talk on the speaker to order, I could hear that it's a straight out robot talking in there. It's a straight out lady. I mean, well, it's straight out a computerized lady talking on the speaker. And it's straight out computer. And I talked to her. I talked to this lady to order. I order something. I order like the way I normally do, like a human, right? And then this robotic lady understands everything that I say, and I could say like ketchup or more ketchup or something, and it's gonna get everything accurate. I mean, it's gonna get everything accurate. I mean, it was that's very sophisticated if you ask me. I mean, and then of course other instances of artificial intelligence that I've come across of is on my YouTube channel. Like occasionally I'm gonna come around like how you call it, like someone commenting, and usually it's gonna be spam or some kind of crypto crap, you know, or whatever that is. I mean, that someone's gonna talk about crypto, that they made a good return, that kind of thing, and then it's like someone else who comments on that, and right there I can already tell that it's robots talking, you know, like, and then the whole comment section is like about a mile long already, and I could tell it's robots that actually did that. I could tell. I mean, well, it's like, to me it sounds like spam, you know. It sounds like they're trying to spam me, you know, like with the like investment and all the crap, you know, all that crap there is about this, and like saying that they got like the frivolous numbers, like saying they invested $10,000 and they got $100,000, that type of thing, you know, like, and it's robots. It's easy to tell that robots actually did that. I mean, yeah, you know, perhaps I think someday, I mean. Someday, man, we're going to be having robots talking to us, and it's going to be pretty sophisticated. These robots that we talk to, like, we can actually pass out our feelings, or pass out like our feelings, and the robots will actually understand you. You know? Yeah, I mean, it's like a person, man. Like some of these robots are pretty sophisticated. I mean, like the robots I'm speaking of, you know, when I see a comment or when I talk to that person on the speaker at the Carl's Jr. that day. No, I mean, it's pretty sophisticated there, you know, like someday we are gonna straight out have robots cleaning our houses one day. I mean, so yeah, I mean, well, you know, when we speak of Teslas that drive themselves, and they haven't perfected it yet, but someday, I mean, like, we're gonna have Rosies, you know, from the Jetsons. Eventually, someday, we're gonna have that someday. I mean, yeah. And then, so what would I think personally, where someday it's gonna be, like someday we're gonna be like, well, I know that like in the next 20 years, it's scary to think of what the next 20 years will bring us. You know, I mean. Because I think like in the next 20 years, we're going to have robots replacing workers, you know, like at McDonald's, you know. We're going to have robots replacing us. I mean, that could even include robots driving forklifts one day. I mean, I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later. That's going to happen, you know, like, 20 years from now, I can imagine what 20 years will bring us. I mean, shit, when it comes to artificial intelligence, someday, like, we're going to have cars that drive themselves. I mean, they're already cars that drive themselves, you know, Teslas. I mean, we already have cars that drive themselves. Someday, it's going to be complete automatic, you know, and then, I mean, someday, I mean, it's going to be like that. I mean, everything will be all automatic, you know, cars driving themselves and robots, for people who can afford a robot, to buy a robot so they could do their chores, washing their dishes and all that shit, even clean the toilets, you know. I mean, don't be surprised. It's going to be there someday. I mean, this artificial intelligence is going to be there. And then you're probably going to even get a robot that actually is programmed with sophisticated feelings, you know. Like, I could see that in the next 20 years. I mean, 10, 20 years from now, I could see that. Someday that they're going to invent robots that's going to look just like people. That's going to look like regular people, where people can actually buy these people-looking robots and they could be their girlfriends or boyfriends. Yeah, I can imagine. You know, I can imagine that. I mean, it's imaginable. I seen this. I seen this in places like in Japan, you know, or China or something. I seen it in Japan, you know, like where they have these robots that look everything like a person, man. Everything like a person, and they they talk like a person, and well, I mean, they look their skin, or they just look everything like a person, and it could be a very, I mean, they could make it into a very pretty girl or a really handsome guy or something. And these robots, man, can look everything like they can make them look everything like a person, man. That's a trip, man. I can imagine that someday, like in the future, people are probably gonna be buying robots that look like a girl, and they could pick out whatever girl that they like, and whatever robot girl that they like, if they like a Mexican one or a Chinese one, whatever. I mean, I can imagine, yeah, they could buy a robot like that, and then they could become their girlfriend, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a kind of a scary aspect of it. I mean, that would be a scary aspect. I mean, but well, the scary part of all this is like robots taking over us, you know, like in the next 20 years, in the sense of, well, but the scary part is jobs, you know, like robots would replace us in our jobs, and then we're all gonna be unemployed and shit. And then what happens then? I would wonder. That would be a massive catastrophe then, you know, like if eventually everybody gets replaced with robots and shit. Yeah, I can imagine, you know, 20 years from now. Yeah, well, anyway, well, I thought I would think about this. Is my thoughts about this artificial intelligence. You know, right now it's not sophisticated like the way I would imagine that it's going to be, say, 20 years from now. I mean, yeah, well, I'll be 74 by that time. So, yeah. So, anyways, well, and then by that time, that's when they say that they don't want to make any more gasoline-powered cars. They want all cars to be electric by 2035, which is only about 10 years from now. I mean, imagine 10 more years after that. I mean, eventually they're going to stop making gasoline cars, you know. So these cars, I mean, will be classics 20 years from now. I mean, everybody's going to be looking for these cars, you know. You know, it kind of makes me wonder, you know, that this car will probably be a classic 20 years from now. I mean, yeah, I mean, people will consider these cars classics. Even the Kia will be a classic 20 years from now. I mean, yeah. If I were to hold on to these cars that long, so yeah, yeah, you know, 20 years from now it would be 2044. So I mean, 2044, 20 years from now, and then this car is a 2011. So this SUV would be, how old would it be then? It would be 33 years old then. I mean, and the Kia would be like maybe 30. I mean, so anyways, so that concludes to the video of my thoughts about AI, about artificial intelligence. So yeah, I mean, anyway, well, I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you on the next one. All right.